Hi, I just thought I'd give you a little update on how I clean my wax brushes. So I just wanted to show you that I've just used some methylated spirits and put a little bit in the bottom of a container. And what I'm doing is just squishing the wax brush into that, and as you can see, all the colour that was on the wax brush from waxing, and it was clear wax, but it was waxed over the, we were waxing over the top of a greenish milk paint cabinet, and so that greenish colour sort of comes off in the wax. And milk paint, as you know, is a porous paint, so it needs a wax on top, so we were doing that. So as I squish in there, all of that is then coming out of the brush. I'll just give it a good squeeze. Probably should be using gloves. And then I'm going to take that to the sink and wash that out. Now I'm going to wash the brush out over a bucket, just so I don't get all the paint and the, methylated spirits down the sink. And what I'm going to use is Miss Mustard Seeds brush soap. Now this is really good for especially natural bristle brushes, which this wax brush is, and it's great for cleaning and conditioning the brushes. So we just need a little bit of water. I'm just going to rinse the methylated spirits off a little bit. Then I'm going to put some of that water and just wipe the wax brush on there. Turn the water off. I'm using a soap dish too, which actually helps because it has the little ridges in here, so as I take the wax brush off, I'm just brushing the brush on those little ridges to get it nice and cleaned and conditioned. You can see it really lathers up and foams up, so the brush soap is really lovely to use. And we're just going to rinse that out in the water. And that'll be really good to, really nice and cleaned and conditioned. And I'll just show you one more tip that I like to use with my natural bristle brushes. Hang on a second. And my final tip for cleaning your wax brush, actually a tip for drying it. You'll see all the bristles start to poke out a little bit. If you want to let your brush have a good hair day when it wakes up from its drying, I usually wrap it just like this in a Chuck's cloth, or you can use brown paper, something like that. It just keeps all the bristles together, but also it allows it to dry. So just pop that in a place where you can dry it. An ideal way to dry your bristles too is by hanging it from something like a hook, which is why they have holes in them, or something like that. But I just usually lay it down, and if it's a good drying day, and that'll dry nicely, and your brush will wake up with a nice hair day and no bristles poking out. So there you go, there's my top tips.